Family Time 211. We're talking about meaningful relationships. We talk about this all the time that we really are our relationships. We've discussed the old adage that you are the 5 people you spend the most time with, but our lives are really all about relationships. It's important to surround yourself with the right people. And I really believe the right relationships, they can take you to heights that you never thought you could achieve on your own. And that can be teammates, friendships, romantic relationships. Those are so important. But I think every interaction we have, every relationship that we have, does bring something to our lives. There's an old saying that people come into our lives for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. There are going to be some people in your life who are there for a season. Maybe it's somebody who's a friend of yours now, and as you get older, maybe you're not as close. Maybe you don't spend as much time together. You get different interests, or you move away from each other. And that doesn't diminish that relationship. It doesn't make it any less important. But maybe that relationship was just meant to be in your life for a season. That can be a hard thing to understand sometimes. Maybe it is a friend. It can be somebody you still care about, but you get on different tracks of life, and maybe you want to make some different decisions. We've talked about that, how challenging it can be, but sometimes you need to separate yourself from certain situations, certain people. And you can still care for that person, but realize, this was something that was a season of my life. Some people come into our lives for a reason, where maybe it's challenging, maybe we feel like this is a negative relationship, but we can learn something from it. It can help us grow. It can help us have healthier and stronger relationships in other parts of our lives because of the things we take away from that experience. So sometimes people come into our life for a reason, to teach us something. And there are some people, there are some relationships that are there for a lifetime. Friends, family members. Hopefully, at some point in your life, a romantic relationship, those things that are like, this is it. These are the people who are here for me no matter what happens. These are lifetime relationships. It's important to consider those different relationships and to recognize that we have some relationships that are going to bring other things to us, different things than other relationships. But every relationship that we wish to maintain is a garden that requires tending. The same way a physical garden you would plant, you have to pull the weeds and you have to water it and you have to do things to make sure it's healthy and it grows. And that's every relationship we wish to maintain. Sometimes we fall into the trap of thinking, even in those lifetime relationships, that like, this person will be here for me no matter what. And then it becomes easy to take that for granted and maybe take advantage of that relationship and say, I don't need to put so much time and effort into this because I believe that person is going to be there. But those are the most important relationships to make sure that we're tending, to make sure that we're nurturing in a meaningful way. So what I want you to think about this week, what I want you to write down, we're going to talk about in class, is identify a meaningful relationship in your life. I kind of want you to think of this last school year. We're getting closer to the end of this school year, and it's a busy time. It gets a little chaotic. Sometimes it gets stressful. We've got seniors who have senioritis and juniors who somehow have senioritis and sophomores who maybe have senioritis. And it's important to take a moment and reflect on the important things with all this noise around us. So I want you to think, what's a meaningful relationship that you've had this year. And this could be a lifetime relationship, but still been meaningful and impactful for you this year. So a meaningful relationship that you've had this year. Consider whether it's a relationship that is a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And I want you to think about if this is a relationship that you want to continue to have in your life, how do you tend to that garden? How do you feed that relationship? How do you take responsibility and put something back into that relationship? Until next time, much love.